Hey painting friends, it's Stoof here. Welcome back to my channel. If you saw my recent video where I did a review of the My Paints brand acrylic paints, you saw I had some fun with a more impressionistic version of a flamingo on the beach painting. And I decided I would like to do that to some of my older paintings. So I had a tutorial on this painting in the past. I have a link for this one if you want to watch the original tutorial in the description under this video. But for this one, I'm just going to take this old painting and I'm going to make it into an Impressionism style painting of the same concept. I might lose some of those sunflowers in there. I'm not totally sure where it's gonna go yet because I'm gonna get creative with it and have fun, but I wanted to record the process for you guys if you are interested in doing the same or if you just want to watch how it's gonna turn out, because I have no idea how it's gonna turn out. So I have my acrylic paints and my disposable palette paper here. I have a cup of water and paper towels for cleaning off my brushes. I'm gonna get started with this painting right now. I'm gonna try to do the whole thing using this number 4 filbert brush, so we'll see how that goes. Okay, so first I'm just taking some titanium white and some ultramarine blue and some phthalo blue, and I'm just gonna swirl that in together. I'm gonna start just doing like little dabs kind of around where the clouds are. And I like the thicker texture of these, so I'm gonna lay the paint on pretty thick in some of these spots. Gonna mix in more phthalo blue, more ultramarine blue, and some white. And put some more little dabs of paint in here. Starting to go over some of the older dabs. Put a few more up there. And I'm gonna mix in some magenta with my phthalo. Get a nice deeper blue in there. Mix in some more white and some of my brilliant blue. And I'm using acrylic paint here, so the paint does dry relatively quickly, so that's one of the challenges using this style of painting. I can't keep working in a certain area if I want anything to blend a little bit and look a little bit more cohesive and painterly. It's going to look a little bit more firm and just like straight blocks of paint. Okay, I'm going to take my white with some ultramarine and a little bit of black, and I'm going to put a couple little dabs in here, kind of following that same brush stroke pattern that I was doing for the clouds before. And I do want them to blend a little bit here, like where the clouds meet the sky. So that's what I'm doing here, getting like the outer rim of the cloud so it can kind of blend into the other parts of the sky that I put down already. More white. Taking more white here with a little bit of ultramarine, a little bit of crimson. Putting those nice pretty colors in here. Just putting a few more colors, dabs of that paint. I want to try to completely cover up what I had down before with my new blobs of paint. I don't want to leave much of the original painting visible here. I'm going to take more crimson and ultramarine blue. Build up a few more little shadows in here in the clouds. More black, mix in a little bit of phthalo. I've got more contrast up here, so I'm following the same rules that I do for realism. My color palette's not changing too much in that aspect, but my brush strokes are changing a lot. And I might do a little bit of more of the Impressionism vivid colors for shadows instead of more of the realism color for shadows, but we'll see when we get there. Taking more white, just layering up over what we had. Taking more white. More white, a little bit of Naples yellow. Okay, I'm liking that so far. A little more of my white with a little blue and Naples over here. And now I'm going to mix white with some phthalo green. That's probably a little much. I'm just going to mix a little bit of my blue in there. Start to add some of these dabs down here, maybe a couple up in here, just to keep it all together. And more white. Gonna mix in more white and a tiny little bit of crimson. Go back to my shadowy cloud color. Okay, and I'm gonna put a little bit more of that ultramarine color under here and right in there. Okay, I'm liking the clouds. That looks pretty nice. Now I'm going to start working on some of these flowers. I'm going to clean off this brush because we're using a totally different color palette now. Okay, and for these, I think I'm going to start with some of the stuff in the background by mixing some olive green with ochre and Naples. And a little bit of phthalo blue. I'm going to start by just putting in these little brush strokes. Gonna take some phthalo green, just layer these up. I'm gonna take some crimson with my phthalo green and some umber, put little shadows in some of these spots. Same little brush strokes, just all over. And some lemon. Okay, I'm going to start with the Cad Yellow Dark and some ochre and a little bit of Ultramarine blue. A little bit of white got mixed in there, also a tiny bit of crimson. And this is giving me more of that muted yellow for the ones that are in the background or more in shadow, less obvious. Just doing the same little brush strokes going around a central area for where we're going to put the seeds. Gonna have lots of nice texture on this one. Okay, and next I'm gonna add a couple, like in here, maybe one in here. Gonna take more of my lemon with my Cad Yellow Deep and start to add some some brush strokes on the more focal flowers. Getting that nice layered texture with these heavy bodied acrylic paints. And then I'm going to take more of my Cad Yellow Deep and my ochre. I'm going to do some more little brush strokes on the insides of some of these just to show the change in color from the outer rim to the inner part of each sunflower. I'm going to mix some of my Mars Orange in here, put that in for some of these brush strokes. Back in putting in some more lighter yellows for some spots I missed. And while that's drying a little bit more, I'm going to keep working on the greens. So I'm going to start with more of my phthalo green and my yellow Naples and some orange and some cad yellow deep. And I'm just going to do my brush strokes, getting my lines for the stalks or branches. Then I'm going to take some of my deeper colors. I'm going to take my black with my olive green. I'm going to put some of those colors in here as well. Go up to the edge of my nice highlighted stems. I'm going to take some phthalo blue with my olive green. Get even deeper little brush stroke marks here. I'm going to cover up my signature from the last one. And take some ultramarine, some of my Naphthol red light, and some crimson and white. Here's what I'm going to do with the shadows. I'm going to mix in more white and purple colors. A little magenta. Put a little bit of these in there. Random spots. Add a little bit more white and phthalo blue. I'm gonna add more of this phthalo blue color down here because I think that'll help kind of tie it into the sky a little more. And I'm going to mix some umber in with red so I get a little more color in some of these sunflowers. I'm going to do some dabs for the central part. And let's take a little more umber and put a few more just deeper brush strokes and get those colors in here a little more. It's pretty. And go back with my more yellow. I'm kind of just mixing a bunch of random colors in here. Terra Verde. But in general, I want like a lighter value. More of my yellow, Naples yellow. And these are more of the big leaves coming off. And take more of my olive green here. Can just add a good bunch of these. You can make the shadowy part with your phthalo and olive green. And some yellow. Let's do more lemon yellow and cad yellow deep. I'm going to layer up some more little branches, leaves. And more of my light lemon yellow, just to go over some of these stalks again. It's a bit of a highlight. And I also want to clean that brush off, take some more black with my red, get a good deep shadow. You know what? I'm going to mix my crimson with blue. And we're going to go more purple for this. And I'm not doing this to every single one, but a lot of them are going to get that purple shadow. And go back to my warmer red, just layer that up. Can take more of this orange color with some red and put a couple little brush strokes coming out from center. More of my deep cadmium color. I also want to make the sky like a little bit more visible through some of these. I'm going to take some more white with that brilliant blue color and just put a few little dabs of that in between here, so it looks like we can see the sky a little more. Mix a little bit of that color in, layer up some white. In here where I want to have some sky. Okay. Gonna take more of that nice reddish brown color I made before. Just go over a couple things again. Let's get some straight up umber. Put some of that in there. I want to do a little more with the yellow and phthalo green. Add some of that really brilliant, beautiful green to the stalks, the leaves. Take some more phthalo blue, mix that in with some of my lemon, and that'll give me some more nice deep greens for the stalks. And it feels like now I've done a pretty good job of covering up what I had down before. Mix a little more white in here. And I'm going to layer up a few more greens for the leaves. think maybe just a couple more little highlights with the yellows and greens. Just to brighten up a little bit more of these leaves. I think for me the tricky part of doing a painting like this is finding out when to stop, because it's so much fun just continually putting down more little blobs of paint, but I don't want to overdo it, which I may have already done, but I'm still working at it. I think that looks nice. And maybe a little bit more purple in some of these little shadows. Might be nice. Right here, a little more green. And I think the last thing I'm going to do is just touch up these petals to make a little bit more sense. I'm going to mix some Naples with my cad yellow medium and some white. So I get this nice bright yellow, and I'm going to do some highlights on the flowers that I want to stand out more. Some more brush strokes, making them bigger, putting in more yellow around the central part. And I get this one a little deeper. Need more just straight yellow and more light. Gonna do this brush stroke right here. Show this one's not perfectly open. It's gonna angle up a bit. And then I want this one to have a little bit of blue. This one's a little bit more in shadow under that one. But I can still do this nice lemon color for the outer part of it. And what else we got? More cad yellow, deep. And take some more white. put that around the edges of this one. Keep it a little more white on this one. A little bit more ochre towards the center. So it's definitely trickier to get these little ones in with the looser brush strokes. Gonna get a little bit more of my ultramarine. Get this like darker color here and put a few in the shadows. Get a little green, cover up that one. Cover up this one. Lots of layering. This one. A little more ochre up here. And I'm gonna take some of my crimson and some terra verde. Just plop a little bit more of this in some spots. A little bit more phthalo green with my yellowish colors over here. Alright guys, so let me know if you liked watching that process, if you want to see me impressionize more of my past paintings that I've done for YouTube tutorials. If you recreate this painting and you want to share it on Instagram, you can tag me, Steph Moraca Fine Art. I'm looking forward to seeing your paintings. So I let this painting sit for a few days and looked at it again and decided that I wanted to add a little bit more warmth to the sunflowers, so I did that. Here is the finished painting after adding a couple more brush strokes of orange to the sunflowers. Prints of this painting are now available. You can order prints using the link in the description under this video. Thanks for watching this tutorial, guys. Have a great day and happy painting. Bye-bye.